One of the most spectacular parts of this beautiful country is the globally cherished Great Barrier Reef. And one of the world's richest people currently wants to open a colossal new coal mine just 10 k's away from it. How did we get here? How is it even a thought that's occurred to someone? 2 words: Clive Palmer.
You get it?
Yeah, I got it.
Yes. We all love the Great Barrier Reef. This iconic ecosystem is just teeming with life, home to an incredible 1,625 species of fish and 450 species of hard coral. No other World Heritage area on the entire planet contains such biodiversity. Over 70 traditional owner groups up and down the 2,000-kilometre reef system have thousands of years of deep, ongoing connection to their land and sea country. Tens of thousands of people depend on the Great Barrier Reef for their livelihoods. But to understand just how bad a decision it is to open a mine 10 k's away from this reef, we need to understand how much trouble it already is in, even without a giant Palmer-branded coal mine nearby. The reef is in increasing grave danger, and scientists have repeatedly warned successive governments about 2 key threats for decades. The first and greatest threat is mining and burning fossil fuels, which is heating the planet. More heat causes more intense cyclones that have directly damaged corals. Then there's coral bleaching. Hotter oceans cause corals to bleach white with stress and then die in marine heat waves if the temperatures don't return to normal. Just earlier this year, the reef suffered its 6th mass coral bleaching event since the first mass event in 1998. The second key threat to the reef is water pollution. Since colonisation, pollution from coastal development and farming runoff has degraded the quality of water flowing into the Great Barrier Reef. So, even if we shut down the plans for the mine, it would only be the beginning of the story. The reef's biggest threat is climate change. And to protect it, we would still need to shift from polluting coal and gas to clean energy this decade. Now, back to the coal-loving billionaire, Clive Palmer. You might know him from spending $100 million on yellow and black advertising in the last election. His company is attempting to open a new coal mine near Adani's in the Galilee Basin. Another of his companies, a nickel refinery in Townsville, went bust, leaving more than 500 workers unpaid for years. He also tried to build a replica of the Titanic because money? It's like a Black Mirror episode. So, here, on this stretch of land, on the country of the Darumbal people and the Barada Kabbulbara Yeddamarala people northeast of Rockhampton, is where Palmer's CQC is proposing the coal mine, just 10 k's from the reef coast. CQC plans to mine up to 10 million tonnes of coal each year for around 20 years, producing a whopping 400 million tonnes of carbon pollution. So, what are the direct impacts? For starters, there's the threat of mine pollution making its way directly into the Great Barrier Reef World Heritage Area. A joint federal and state government-appointed independent expert scientific committee report warned of significant and irreversible damage to the Great Barrier Reef from mine-affected water. The experts said that they cannot envisage any feasible mitigation measures, including offsets, that could safeguard these irreplaceable and internationally significant ecological assets. On top of that, a peer-reviewed study released in early 2022 showed that in the event of flooding, sediment from the coal mine could reach critical reef ecosystems within weeks. So what's at stake? The marine life who have existed in these spaces for centuries. Mine sediment could smother seagrass meadows, a critical habitat and food source for dugongs and green turtles, with key flatback turtle nesting beaches also in harm's way. Translation? Digging this massive new coal mine would be really, really bad for the reef, and there's no way to stop the harm. This is not something that we can put in the pile of ignore it's happening and deal with it later. There'd be no going back. Stand up for the turtles. I'm serious. Far from accepting the scientific concerns, Clive Palmer's CQC came out with a fact check saying their own consultants found no significant impacts to the Great Barrier Reef. So surprising. CQC also tried to argue that the coal mine actually leads to a positive impact on the reef somehow by displacing cattle grazing, which can cause sediment runoff. You can't make this stuff up. So experts agree, this project is bad news. But is anyone actually for it? Well, local landholders are opposed, and communities rallied from Mackay and Yeppoon down to Brisbane to voice their concerns. The Rockhampton Regional Council rejected a request to support the mine. Even the Department of Defence is against the project. And in April 2021, the Queensland Government followed the scientific advice, recommending the project not proceed due to a number of unacceptable risks. The project then moved to the federal level, with then Coalition Environment Minister Susan Ley having 30 business days to approve or reject the coal mine. But the minister paused the clock on the approval decision to seek more information from CQC, also promising to make a trip to the mine with noted climate denier Pauline Hanson. Yes, the same person who famously visited one tiny section of the reef and proclaimed that it was all fine. Maybe she likes the idea of the entire ecosystem of the Great Barrier Reef turning white. Just a thought. Now, cut to the federal election in May 2022, where together we swept the Morrison government from power and voted in a pro-climate action majority in Parliament. New Environment Minister Tanya Plibersek has a lot to do to clean up the mess left behind by 9 years of the coalition government. The Clive Palmer-owned Central Queensland coal mine is just one of many fossil fuel projects on her desk, awaiting a decision about environmental approval. The minister must recognise the huge weight of evidence that this project would be disastrous for the World Heritage listed Great Barrier Reef and reject the mine. Together, we can raise the alarm on Clive Palmer's coal mine and ensure that it doesn't go anywhere, just like his plans for the Titanic too. A future beyond polluting coal is possible, where we protect the Great Barrier Reef from the worst impacts of climate change and water pollution, where communities can continue to love and connect with this incredible place, and the web of life can continue to thrive. The first step is to stop making the problem worse. If you didn't get why Clive Palmer needs to stop in his tracks right now and should have maybe a couple of decades ago, but continues somehow because money makes people feel powerful and like they're bored out of their minds and need to continue destroying the world, I hope you get it now. Share this video.